Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. Today we're back in the grow yard. Again, we kind of agreed we wouldn't keep the series going, but we'd still film in here. So if you don't know, we had I think we called it the grow yard series, didn't we? Or something like that. Or 2 to 20 is what it was. We always called this the grow yard. But anyways, so I don't even know how many is actually in here today, but the video we're doing on it today is condensing them down. So this time of year, we will feed and basically combine and condense them. So all that is whenever there's a hive that has too much space, most of the time it's these doubles, like they're in the bottom box, but they're really not in that top box. A lot of the times, if there's like 2 frames up top that they're in, you can condense them down to where they're just in one. And the point for that is they have too much space up top that they can't really like take care of. So then they end up having a little bit of a better chance not making it through winter because they have all this extra space that they can't keep up with. So we're gonna condense them down today. Hopefully, I think. I'm not really sure actually how these are looking. Last time we checked, they looked like they need to be condensed. We just didn't get to it. But let's see how they are.
Both of them
today.
or just that one?
I think it's just this one. I remember that one. Oh, there's a bunch of ants on here. What the heck? I haven't had problems with that before. Last time we checked this one, they looked really good. So we've already got these. Ooh. They just love that.
Yeah.
So do the beetles. Try to smash as many as I can. Okay, so just pulling it off already, you can tell they're really not up in that top box. It looks like they might be on these 2 frames, but that's only because these are the only 2 drawn frames that we originally put in there. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna lay this lid down and then crack the box. Hopefully. Oh, whenever it moves like that too, they got no weight in that top box. Okay, so it's, what day is it?
The 17th.
17th of October. So that kind of gives you an idea of time of year. We try to post these as fast as we can, as fast as we can get to it. But I did want to mention, I'm really bad about mentioning this like a month in advance, but tomorrow I'll be speaking at the Missouri Fall Conference, Missouri State Fall Conference. I don't really know the exact name for it, but we'll be there tomorrow speaking on resource hives, comb honey, and all that fun stuff. So looking forward to that. This video won't get posted till Sunday, I believe, but figured we'd mention that too. So I'm looking forward to that, meeting a bunch of people, and I feel like we haven't done a conference in a little while too, so that'll be fun to get back at that.
Starting to be conference season.
It is. We try to, I feel like most of the time too, people don't plan conferences in the middle of this, season because everybody's really busy, but it's about that time of year where they start kicking back up again, and then the expo will happen. So anyways, so this is kind of what I mean. It looks like they're in both boxes, but if you actually look down deep into it and kind of dig into the hive, you can see that these 2 outside frames, they have nothing on it. So I'm just gonna make sure I use plenty of smoke because it is a little bit later in the day and it is robbing season. So we're gonna try not to be in these for too long. But anyway, so these 2 outside frames, there's nothing on them. So you can hit them down too inside of that box so they fall into the bottom there just to get all those bees off. So there's nothing on those. And then I'm not actually gonna move the feeder down. We'll do that coming in next year, I believe. We had a whole reason for that, and it also, I don't really remember, but I just remember being told not to do that. And
Dad's been doing it though.
He didn't do it last time we were in it.
Oh.
I don't know. But the other thing is if we can give them more frames of food instead of just adding a feeder, then we'd rather do that. So if there's like nothing up in this top box, I'll add the feeder, but it does take away 1, sometimes 2 frames.
Well, we can always bucket feed them too.
That's what we'll do. We'll do bucket feeding on these singles. I'll probably just end up switching these lids because this one's a bucket, but the one they have on right now isn't, so I'll switch those eventually. But I think there's not a whole lot on there, but there might be something on these. They definitely need fed. So we'll do that today. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but like they're all up in there eating all of that. It's just, I would think that's syrup.
Yep.
So this top box is about to be empty anyways because they're gonna plow through all of that. So there's really no point in keeping it. So I'm gonna put that there, and then it looks like just this one, and that's really all there is. The rest is foundation with just a little bit of drawn comb, but there's nothing in that drawn comb. So there's a little bit of food in this frame, those two frames. So that actually ends up working out. Sometimes you do have to pull a frame of food out, and that just is what it is, but.
Do you need to peek for brood at all?
Well, we just checked them. I possibly could, but I do want to just lift the lid on this, the one right next to it, to see if they need to be condensed down or not. Now, another thing is we'll use double screens, which was our last video, I believe.
Yep.
Double screen boards. And so if you have one that's just, this stick was in here from that feeder. It actually, we'll put the sometimes the feeder will bow out a little bit, so if you put a stick there, it helps so it doesn't, and you can tell it actually worked really well on this feeder here, so we'll take that out now. Especially they propolize it so it doesn't even move. But anyways, if you have a hive that's just a little bit smaller than a single, and maybe they're even the size of a nuke, but you want them to make it through winter, then using a double screen board is always a good idea. So that's what we did on a couple of them, and I did want to put on, it's basically fondant. I got this I think that was at a Missouri conference. I think it was St. Louis, the EMBA. Yeah, we were at the EMBA and I was speaking, and I was talking to some of the vendors, and one of the vendors, what's the name on this? Strong Microbials.
Yep.
Gave us these patties. That was a while ago. When was that?
That was in February.
February. So it's been a while, and these have been sitting here. So they're kind of starting to like crack a little bit. I think you could store them for a while. I don't really know. I'm sure there's a temperature and all that. I'm sure it's all on the box here. It says place 2 to 6 fondant bars on top of the frames. I'm gonna place like 2 of them. See what it does. It's just like a fondant. So there's that Hive Alive fondant that we typically use. I think that's pretty much the same. I'm not really sure.
It looks very similar.
It does. I think there's just a little bit different ingredients in it. Now, a lot of people like the Apis Biologic. Is that right? And that, it looks like it's made with that too. So it comes with 30 bars in a pack here. Okay, I think.
Whoop.
Okay, so yeah, it kind of cracks a little bit. I don't know if that's just how it is or if we just we haven't used it in time. Probably when we got it, we probably could have used it then too, actually, in February. Maybe, I don't know. It's usually really cold in February. Okay, I'm just gonna do 2 and we're gonna see how that works. I don't know if we'll do an update on it, but I'm just curious to see if they kind of eat off of it or not, and if it gives them a little bit of a boost. Fondant, like the Hive Alive stuff, it is expensive, but it works so well. Like, we'll put it on a lot of our singles, and it really does make a difference, because you can give them a whole fondant, and that's a lot. I don't know how much that is, but it does work really well. It's a good way in the wintertime to give them a quick boost, or right before winter, give them a quick boost. That actually does work. Same thing with just dry sugar too. So you can kind of make fondant by yourself, but the ingredients on these are different and they have a lot of good stuff in it. So, okay, they're on it a little bit. You can see right here. So they're already on it, which is a good sign. So then with this Reflectix, I can just place it on top and it'll be fine because this lid has a little bit of a feeder shim in it. Oh, actually, there's a bunch of bees on the top of this, so I'm gonna shake it because I can't get can't get out when that Reflectix is on. Again, they really like it, but okay. So now it just kind of makes you feel a little bit better. Now that they're a little bit more condensed down, and they usually have a better percent or a better chance of going into winter whenever they're condensed like that. It can be a lot of work if you've got big yards too, like 30, 40 size yards or whatever. So it is a lot, but it's worth it for sure. And this is the last bee work that we'll be doing for a while. Like the last hive inspections. We always call this kind of our last hive inspection of the year, and then we won't really know a whole lot what's going on until coming out of winter next year. These are just so loud, but they work so well that it's worth it. Let's just pull that off. Okay, now these girls are actually, there's so many beetles on these. I remember that from last year though. It's the only thing about these. Okay, these girls are up in the top. They're really not on these two frames, but everything else has food on it. I'm gonna just maybe lift this up and look at the bottom box. If it's full, then I'll leave it. But if there's a couple of frames down in here, of course the frames are sticking. That's always fun. It's like every single frame is sticking. Well, these girls have that pink frame in there. They look good. This actually has a lot of weight to it. So I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna throw this fondant on some of the smaller ones too. We've got a couple of double nukes around that we'll go ahead and put that on too. And we're gonna feed those double nukes too. There's a couple of them we're gonna feed tonight because we don't have a whole lot of syrup, but enough that we'll find some that need it. So anyways, I'm gonna put some of this fondant on and feed them with some syrup. And I think that's kind of it. So that's all in today's video, is just showing condensing them down. I've talked about it a lot and I hadn't shown a video on it, so I figured we would do that. But it's just one thing to think about before it gets a little bit too cold. You can also do combining them. So if I had like a single that they both weren't that strong and they had a few empty frames, you can combine the two. You'll have to figure out what to do with your queen, or if you have one that's, her queen's not really doing too good and you want to requeen them but it's too late in the year, then you can combine them too. Just stuff like that. There's also, anyways, you kind of get the idea. I think that's it for today's video though. So thanks for watching. Follow along more bee adventures and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.